Well, happy Friday. Happy Labor Day weekend. Joshua Casey Garland, certified financial planning professional, owner of Shepherd Wealth Management, here on the back deck on this Labor Day weekend with my good friend and video editing genius, Ezra Kellerman. Ezra, it's been a hell of a day here in the market. I can't wait to share a little bit of that. But how was your Friday so far?
Friday's been good.
Yeah.
Been good. Yeah. No existential dread creeping in, you know.
Any Labor Day plans?
Yeah. Sleeping.
Nice. I'll be hitting that grill up right behind me and probably enjoying a couple more of these throughout the day. So cheers to everyone. Happy Labor Day.
Happy Friday.
Yeah, happy Friday. Thanks for starting out your Labor Day weekend with us. As usual, on Fridays, we like to call this the Financial Shepherd Happy Hour, just kind of talking about what happened this week and maybe what to look forward to coming into next week after the long weekend and throughout the rest of the year. So, as I mentioned, it was a heck of a day today. Started out with an excellent jobs report, 315,000 jobs, which is just under what analysts had estimated, around 320,000 jobs. The best part about that report is labor participation increased more than what analysts had expected. And the unemployment rate actually ticked up from 3.5 last month to 3.7% this month. Usually we're looking for, a really big jobs number. We had a really solid one on the back of a massive jobs number in July, over 525,000.
Yeah, it's a big summer for jobs.
Huge. And we still have more job openings than ever. But the reason why all that's important as we look forward to the next CPI inflation data reading coming up here in a couple of weeks, I believe it's September 13th. The Fed's going to take all this information that we got today on top of the data that we're going to get between now and September 13th with a CPI report, and they're going to make a decision on rates. And the market's really trying to price in right now as we're talking whether or not we're going to have a 75 basis point increase again, or we're going to go back to a 50 basis point increase hike. And what the market was excited about this morning, so I woke up this morning, I saw the data, the futures for all the major averages spiked to the green in a pretty big way. The market kicked off at 9:30. And everything was great all the way up until around 1:30 this afternoon. So we'll talk about that here in just a second. But the reason why the market liked the news this morning is because they were hoping that the Fed wouldn't have to continue to keep their the foot on the accelerator as far as increasing interest rates as quickly as they have been so far this year, and what people think that they will have to continue to do to keep inflation numbers coming down. And that labor number was spot on, perfect, not too hot, not too cold. It was Goldilocks. It was just right. And the unemployment rate, why that's important. We talked about this yesterday in our much bigger, podcast that we do every couple of weeks. And we were kind of hoping to see that. And the reason for that is because if unemployment rate goes up just a little bit, we're still way under, the historical average of full employment being about 4%, coming up from 3.5 to 3.7. And the jobs number being so good, that would indicate that this economy and this marketplace that we're in here, corporate executives are able to get more people back into work. Obviously, they're paying them more money. The unemployment rate coming up just a little bit actually would indicate that the Fed may not have to continue to accelerate their interest rate hikes, because by increasing your interest rate hikes, as unemployment's coming up, usually something the Fed wouldn't do, or at least they wouldn't increase rates so aggressively. So that's why the market really enjoyed that information this morning. But unfortunately, some guy named Vladimir Putin over there in Russia is really just toying with the supply of energy on the planet. And that's really kind of threw the day off for sure, off the back of that awesome news this morning. And we're not really sure what's going to happen here after Labor Day, because OPEC is going to have a thing. They're likely going to cut production. And what spooked the market even more is, a lot of politicians, Janet Yellen and others, are talking about trying to put a price cap on Russian oil.
I saw that, yeah.
In theory sounds nice, but it takes two to tango.
Right.
If I wanted to go buy one of those new Ford electric trucks for $10,000 and Ford wants to sell them for $70,000, we're probably not going to strike a deal. So yeah. if we go to try to cap their oil prices, they're likely just going to say, hey, I'm not going to sell to anybody in the G7, the three large nations here. I'm not going to sell to any of them. and that's 2 million barrels of oil a day just being ripped off the market. In addition to, OPEC probably is going to announce a cut in their production because they don't like the fact that oil prices have come down over the last 4 weeks. So that's something for everyone to kind of look forward to on this Labor Day weekend.
Wonderful.
So we'll have a very interesting September. And we talked about this historically. For whatever reason, September tends to be, a very difficult month for positive performance. Not in all instances, but historically, on average, is typically a month that sees more losses than it does, positive results. But generally, rallies are started right around this time of the year, and I've talked about it all year long. We're kind of expecting, a nice rally in the stock market between sometime in October through the rest of the year.
Right.
However, there's all kinds of other, issues at hand here. We're still going into a midterm election season. We still have a war going on in Ukraine. We still have one of the largest energy countries, on the planet, basically messing around with the supply of both oil and natural gas. So it's going to be an interesting weekend. My advice to you all is please enjoy your Labor Day weekend. Let all the worrying and research fall on my shoulders, because I guarantee you, right as Monday morning kicks off, I'm going to be searching for a whole bunch of information on what's going on here in preparation for next week. So that's the weekend plan that I have, Ez.
Well, I'm glad that you're taking on that challenge and not me. I'll always rely on you for the big data energy to help explain, kind of analysis and, what's going on in the market.
Exactly. So that's for me to worry about. And obviously, if there are questions, if there are things that you're thinking about, as you're getting all this information that's going to be coming out both Monday on actual Labor Day and throughout the rest of next week, definitely, reach out to us, 513-630-2664. We'd be happy to answer your questions. I'm pretty sure this is something we're going to be talking about, definitely for weeks to come and probably throughout the remainder of the year. But one can only hope that some sort of peaceful resolution can be reached here in the not so distant future.
Yeah. Everything else set aside, that's what we want, is an end to the conflict over there.
Correct. And kind of talking about, some positive stuff here as we wrap up the news today. I mean, that's what happened. We've had 3 straight weeks of negative performance in all the major averages. Energy seems to be the only sector that remains positive from a real performance perspective in the S&P 500, even after coming off a really nice rally that we saw in, latter part of July and into August. But the good news that I wanted to share with everyone today as we go to, the rest of our holiday weekend here. And again, I hope you all have a great one with family and friends. But I got to spend a full day from around 8 a.m. to about 5, 6 o'clock at night with a good friend of mine, invited me out to help out with the recovery from the massive flood that was experienced in Hazard, Kentucky. I've hinted at this for about another week now, and now we're ready to make the announcement. We're going to be partnering with the Foundation for Appalachian Kentucky, and all of the proceeds that we're going to raise are going to go directly to those affected by this devastating flood. And it truly was devastating. I've never experienced anything like that before, as I know that you spent a lot of time in Louisiana. You went to school down there as well, so you've seen a lot of the things that I got to experience, as far as, ripping up carpet, ripping up flooring, taking out drywall all the way up to your hip. Really just devastating kind of situation here. I saw school buses in the river. I saw a bed sheet about 45 feet up in the air in a tree. Just true devastation to a part of the country, that already is, not a lot of opportunities as far as, jobs and things of that nature, but absolutely gorgeous, part of the world there. That's for sure. It's definitely God's country, the beautiful mountain scene that you see there. But everybody that I spoke with had lived there for probably decades, some even centuries, probably. It's their home and they're not planning on leaving. And the sad part about, coming out of that cleanup is they're sleeping in this mold and mildew, and just every second of the day reminded of the devastation, losing their cars and all that stuff. But I'm pretty sure I didn't have the heart to ask anybody, because who would want to have the conversation of, did you have flood insurance? But everybody that I spoke with that have lived there forever, they basically said that nothing like this has even come close to ever happening. So my guess is that they probably, didn't have flood insurance on top of mind. Nonetheless, this is going to take a long time to recover from. If you've ever seen anything like this before, or if you've ever had a family member, loved one, friend to go through something like this, you would understand. And that was a first-time experience for me. Their attitude over there about going through this, recovery process was eye-opening to me, to say the least. I don't even have the right words to describe it right now. But all I know is that a part of our mission here at Shepherd Wealth Management is not just to perform for our clients. It's not just to be, passionate about what we do, which clearly we are. This is something we love to do. We love doing these shows. We love doing the newsletters. We love doing quarterly reviews with clients. But it's not just about making money. It's also about using the resources that we have, that we're blessed with, to actually be able to help people that need it the most. So right now, those folks certainly need it the most. So it's a huge pleasure to announce that we would like to raise $20,000. Obviously, we're not going to cap any of that. If we can do more than that, that's great. Yeah. So over the next couple of weeks, for about another 2, maybe 3 weeks, we're going to be blasting out emails on social media with links directly to this foundation. So I'm not collecting any money, at all. I want the money that you want to donate to go directly to those that need it the most as quickly as possible. And of course, you'll be getting your end of the year, tax deduction for making those types of donations. Again, we're trying to raise $20,000.
We can do it.
We at Shepherd Wealth Management know that we can do that with your all's help and support. And again, these folks need it the most, and the money goes directly to those that need it the most as fast as possible. And what we want to do at Shepherd Wealth Management is make a matching donation of 10% of the total that we actually raise. So if we can get to that $20,000 number, which I believe we can, that's $2,000 coming from Shepherd Wealth Management going directly to that foundation. And hey, if we can raise more, let's raise more. Let's do what we can. But that's an exciting announcement. More to come. Check out the podcast. You can go directly to our website at shepherdwm.com. There's links directly to our YouTube page as well as the Spotify page, so you can listen to the podcast that we do on the happy hours, as well as the big productions every couple of weeks. And then on social media, you can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter,
TikTok,
all that good stuff. And we'll be putting that information out with the links directly to that foundation, again, to achieve that goal of the $20,000 donation. So with that, hope you have a great rest of your Friday. I know that you're going to have a good 3-day weekend. And to all you watching, listening at home, thank you so much for joining us. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. I'm Joshua Casey Garland, certified financial planning professional, owner of Shepherd Wealth Management. Hope you have a great rest of your Labor Day weekend. Cheers.